we definitely got to continue to hit that nail on the head when it comes to. I know you were dropping a ton of jewels on the octopus and also even the marine kingdom itself. So even T, for someone that has not even heard about the marine kingdom before, or even about some of the marine kingdom animals that we hear a lot about, especially in ministry. Can you even break down like what is the marine kingdom, and like why should people be aware of the marine kingdom in this day and age?
Sure, no problem. So for those of us who don't really know a lot about the marine kingdom, I'm going to base it out, and they're really just basically demonic spirits in operation through waterways, where we get things like voodoo from across the waters, all types of new age and different types of old age religions that use black magic, voodoo, and they bring these things across the waters. So I have heard, now I don't have any real validation for this, but I've heard some people say that some of the slave trade had something to do with some of the marine spirits. Not sure about that, haven't heard from the Lord, but when I do, I will definitely come back and talk about that. But what we do see happening is, because of the voodoo, because of the things that are in these other cultures that are coming over here from other countries, we're seeing an upkick in marine spirit warfare. Things like octopuses, with octopi, which I said earlier, is that suffocating spirit with the many arms. We see the mermaid, which is like a siren that comes to seduce. There's jellyfish, all types of symbols of these demonic spirits, because they're basically symbols. There's not a spiritual jellyfish floating around. There's not a demonic octopus. These are symbols of spirits that are in operation. If you think back in the Bible, and let me just try to make it make sense, when we see John or we see some of the other prophets, and they say things like, I saw a beast that was like this or was like that, you can only attribute a thing to what you already know, or you'll just be saying, I don't know what it was. It has to appear like something that you've already seen. So that's why we attribute them to these specific spirits. But I digress to say that these spirits operate in a lot of witchcraft, a lot of voodoo, a lot of dark magic. They bring about those to the people that are involved in those particular types of witchcraft. Um, I want to say to my younger people, because what I need you to really hear me, and right now, in the name of Jesus, I just bind up the spirit of offense so that we could really hear what God is saying in this. The enemy understands that his time is short, and we all get that. We get that his time is short, but we have to understand that the children that are coming up now, the young people, the 20 and under who are coming up now, they're the ones that are going to have to fight the enemy. They're the ones that's going to really have to be in that last stance. And so those of us who are 20 and up, who are the ones who are responsible for training them, for teaching them, for preparing them for this time that they're going to have to deal with him, we have spent so much time focusing on blessings and gifts and talents and this and that and all of this foolishness, and we have neglected to prepare a whole generation for what's coming. And so they're walking around and they're looking for identity. They're finding it in old African sayings and this and that and the other. And honestly and truly, it is a device of the enemy to keep them unprepared for what is coming upon them. They're not going to be ready for the amount of warfare that is coming, because the culture is pulling them away from God. Think about it. Everybody has church hurt. Everybody's hurt. They leave the church. People hurt you at work. You don't leave your job. People hurt you in your family. You don't get out the family. Your spouse hurts you. You don't always leave the marriage. But the enemy has been very instrumental of trying to destroy the church, because this is the place where we come as believers to be like-minded. You're not coming to live off of what the pastor's saying or any of those things. You're coming to be fed and be in a position with like-minded people so that you can be strengthened. And so the enemy continues to isolate us in all these little pockets, and then he's feeding us all of these weird messages, these weird teachings, just a little bit of leaven, enough to leaven the lump to where you're no longer operating in truth. And so what's going to happen is now we have a whole generation of children who don't know God. They don't value life because we've spent so much time focusing on the wrong things. So we've got to come back as a culture of I'm not talking about the culture of African Americans or American or any of that. I'm talking about the lifestyle of Christ, because Christianity is not a culture, it's a lifestyle. There is a Jesus culture, that Jesus bubble where you look the look and you talk the talk and you walk the walk. But I'm talking about the lifestyle of Christ. It is a completely different walk. And so understanding that is, we've got to come back to what is the word saying about what is happening in the earth realm. We got to know that the Lord is telling us there are things that are happening that are shaking the earth right now. The earth is being shaken up, and everything that can be shaken is being shaken, because the Lord cannot and will not judge a nation that is in deception. He cannot judge a deceived people. So he must reveal the truth. That's why we're seeing things coming out, being exposed, people being exposed, you being exposed. God is even exposing you to yourself. He's showing you your ways, your stinking thinking, your bad attitude, your the things that you believe about him that are not true, ungodly beliefs that are affecting your belief system. He's exposing all of these things, because he cannot judge a person, a nation, a country, a people, a land without the truth. He's not going to judge a deceived people.